I'm Zoe. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build video. So today I've got an autumn build for you. I tried to do a autumnal house or cottage if you'd like. I never know at what point you can call a house a cottage, to be honest, because I feel like a cottage has to be very small and quaint and cozy. But this house, it's got 2 stories, 2 floors. So I don't know if that qualifies as a cottage really, or if it's too big actually. So I think the house, it doesn't feel too small. It doesn't feel that big either. So medium, I guess. Yeah, but it's got this cottage feeling, I think, personally. So I think I'll just go with that term. Bear with me. So I did not look at any particular pictures as an inspiration. I just wanted to try to do an autumn build because I've never done one before, and I've seen all these amazing builds by other simmers, and I just wanted to try and do one on my own. So I've just placed down a box and added to it and tried to figure out a shape that I thought looked good, that felt right to me. So I've ended up with this build, and on the ground floor you've got the kitchen, you've got the dining room and the living room, which are one big room actually. And I've added a conservatory, I think it's called, on the right side of the building. So I just like the idea of a conservatory for this build because maybe in autumn the weather gets colder and you can still go outside, but it's cozier to stay inside, and you can have a look outside if you're sitting in the conservatory, and you can enjoy your garden anyway, even if it's maybe too cold to go outside. And I just like this idea. So in my language, a conservatory is called winter garden. I don't know if this exists in English as well, but I really like the term because, yeah, it's giving this feeling of having the opportunity to enjoy nature and your garden if you've got one, even in winter or autumn in this case. So you see me placing down the windows for the conservatory right now. And by now I kind of figured out the general shape of the build. I was struggling a little bit with the windows at the beginning. I didn't know what I was going for exactly, and I hadn't figured out a color scheme as of right now. And yeah, so here you see me figuring out the color scheme that I was going for in the end. So I found this lovely kind of orange swatch, and I thought that just fit perfectly. This is, to me, like the color that I associate with autumn and everything that is related to it. So I combined this orange color and brick, and I thought this was quite a nice combination. Then I'm adding this entrance area to the house, and I've also built 2 chimneys. So one on the left side that is connected to the kitchen, and one on the right side. And so this goes down into the conservatory. I thought this was a good idea because then you could just lit up the fireplace while sitting in the conservatory, and this would make it even more comfortable to stay there. So this I've built in the world of Hanford on Bagley, I think. And I don't remember the name of the lot, but it's the one in the back, which is on this kind of hill. And I really like this lot because it's surrounded with lots of lovely trees, especially during this autumn season. They turn red and it just looks lovely. And what I was unhappy with was the lighting of this lot, because during the day it just looked very dark at the front of the house. So at some point I'm turning around the whole build. You don't see it in the video actually, but I've turned around the whole build because I thought it just looked much, much, much better during the day. Well, it is a little bit unfortunate because if you decide to download this and you want to play it, your Sims, they always spawn on the wrong side of the house this way. So that's a bit unfortunate, but you can always turn it around again. Me, I just did this because for this building process, it was just so much better to do it in this kind of lighting. So what you've seen me do just now was placing down a window sill. So I did this for the big windows on the left side that are placed on the brick wall. And this is the idea that I had initially for this build. So I didn't really know what I was trying to go for with the shape of the building and such, but I knew that I wanted to place down a windowsill because the idea behind that was that I would place some pumpkins on it and some kind of decoration for the fall season, but it didn't work out the way that I was imagining, so that I would have liked. So I just overthrew that idea and I focused on decorating the entrance area rather than a windowsill, and I think it turned out well. And then I moved on to the landscaping. I wanted this house to be surrounded with lots of bushes and flowers and color that went with the color scheme of the house in general. So you see me placing down lots of different flowers in the colors of orange, red, pink, I guess. And I've also placed down a little pond. I thought that would fit nicely and look good on this lot. And I've also added some, I don't know what they're called, some farming patches, I guess, where you can grow pumpkins as well. In the beginning, I wanted to place down more patches and make like a little field, but it didn't feel right. It just took up too much place. And so I've added just a few of them so that if you wanted, you could do this. You could grow, nurture some pumpkins and harvest them here during the fall season. And then I moved on to decorating the pond. So I've used a tool mod a lot for this to place down the stones and give it some kind of frame. It just makes the pond look that more natural in my opinion. So I've seen a lot of Sims do this in their videos and I want to try this out as well. So here you see me placing them down with a tool mod and just adjusting them and adding some plants to it as well so that it's a nice addition to the garden. And I absolutely love the tree that I've placed down at the back of the lot. It just looks so lovely during fall. It's got this really rich red color. I really, really like it. And I thought it would look very good with the surrounding trees as well, because like I said, on this lot, you've just seen it now, there are a lot of red trees in the surroundings as well. So I thought it would just fit in nicely with the rest of the surroundings. And in a little bit, I'm going to move on to the stairs. So here I started with the general autumn decoration. I thought I would decorate the lot much, much, much more with pumpkins and everything autumn related, but I think I kept it quite minimal. Yeah, but I think otherwise I might have overdone it. I think I just did the right amount, what feels right to me anyway. So at the stairs, I've placed down pumpkins on either sides and I've added lots of candles and lanterns and these lovely candles with the leaves that go with it. I just thought that would be perfect. So right at the front of the build, you already have this feeling of autumn, of Sims living there that really enjoy this kind of season and decorate the hell out of their home when it comes to pumpkins and everything related. So by now I've moved to the interior. I've started building the kitchen, and I've ended up changing the color scheme at the end. I think you still see me do it in a few minutes. But first, I've just figured out the general layout of the kitchen and what kind of clutter to add. So I've chosen these counters, where the top counters have this lovely window, this not window, glass front. And I just love this kind of shelves and furniture in the kitchen where you can see the things that are inside, the dishes, the cups, the glasses, everything. It just, I don't know, it feels very lived in and comfortable and cozy to me. At the end, I'm going for a much more orange and warm color scheme in this kitchen, because as of right now, it's quite bright and lots of white and very bright colors. It's nice, but it just feels very cold for a build that's supposed to be an autumn build. So you see me changing this in a bit. And I also used a tool mat to put some items on the fridge. So I elevated them, and then they didn't fit quite right on the top of the fridge. So that's where you can use the tool mat, for instance. It just allows you to fit items nicely to the surfaces that you would like to put them on. So this kitchen is quite small compared to other kitchens that I usually build, but it just felt right for this house slash cottage, because it just makes the kitchen feel very cozy, in my opinion. At the end of the kitchen part, you see me closing the wall and adding an archway, and it just was very narrow, in my opinion. It just looked very narrow. So I'm changing this much later on in the building process. It just made the kitchen feel even smaller and quite crowded, to be honest. So what I did is I just deleted the wall, and I've added some pillars and made the kitchen a much more open space that is linked directly to the dining room. And I think it just looks so much better. It makes it much more welcoming, in my opinion. So I think once I've placed down the rug, I'm realizing that the color scheme does not really fit what I was trying to go for initially. So you should see me changing the color in a little bit. Yeah, there it is. So you can see right there, it's much warmer. It's a lot more orange, and I really like the way this color scheme turned out for this kitchen. And then I move on to the conservatory, where you can see the fireplace, and I just wanted to create a very cozy sitting area in here. So I've placed down a table, a sofa, and an armchair. And actually the placement will be a little bit different at the end of the actual build, because while I was playtesting it, you couldn't lit the fireplace. But I really wanted it to be functional, because I thought that would really add to this whole feeling of autumn. So I think the direction is different. I think I've turned the table around by 90 degrees, and I've adjusted the couch and the armchair as well. It still looks nice and comfortable, but now your sim can actually lit the fireplace and enjoy the warmth and the atmosphere. And so you see me cluttering up the conservatory. I'm trying to add items that go well with the autumn theme. I try to decorate the table with this little basket where I shrunk down some pumpkins and placed them into. This is something that I really love to do in my own home as well. I just love having this kind of baskets or other kinds of holders where I place down lots of different pumpkins, lots of different colors, and it just, I don't know, it cozies up the place. I just love that kind of decoration that fits the season. I've also added this little tray with the book and the cup, I thought that would make it feel like you could sit down here, just relax, enjoy the fireplace and the surroundings of your garden, and you could just read a book and forget about the time and have a lovely time here in your conservatory. You also have a door in the conservatory, so you can enter or leave the house on the side as well. I've also wanted to add a chess table in the conservatory, but it just didn't quite fit. I thought I went with the furniture and decoration. I just thought that it would look nicer and fit better with the style of the whole build. So you see me placing down lots of lamps and lights. I just love having those different kinds of lamps in a room during this time. It gets darker much sooner during the day, and I think it just makes a room so much cozier. And if you place down lamps on the windowsill, for instance, I think it just looks very, very lovely from the outside as well. Every time I'm seeing a house and there's lamps on the windowsill on the inside, it feels so inviting and warm and cozy. What I also did is I added these cute pillows to the couch. I turned them around so it would look like they've been put on there by the Sims that live here. I thought that would add a nice touch as well. And I've added lots of candles to this room as well to go with this whole light theme that I was just talking about. I was trying so hard to clutter up this conservatory, but I sometimes struggle with cluttering up surfaces. I really love doing it. I love seeing cluttered surfaces, but sometimes I'm just kind of insecure of what kind of items to put on there and to combine so that it looks like it makes sense for the family that lives there, and not just make it look like a tile of random items combined together. But I think it turned out good for this conservatory. I added the games, for instance. I thought that maybe the family that lives here could sit down here and have a nice family activity in the evening. So just sitting and relaxing by the fireplace and playing some board games together. I thought that was a nice idea. I've tried to add the basket with all the blankets. So additional to the fireplace, you can cozy up here on the couch and use the blankets while you sip your cup of tea and have a chat or read a book. Yeah, I like the way it turned out. So then I moved to the dining room, the dining area, and the idea here was to have a table with autumn themed decoration on it. So I tried to accomplish this by putting down some candles on the table, lanterns, the candles with the leaves, the autumn leaves to be specific. I've put some pumpkins on the table, some small ones, and I liked the way the decoration turned out. But I had some struggle with the curtains. I had difficulties to find curtains that, in my opinion, fit the rest of the room. At some point, I went with the curtains that I think came with the season, for the seasons pack, the ones with the orange, yellow, brown, red leaves on it, because it just fits the season, right? But I don't know, it was too much in my opinion. And since I wanted the decoration on the table to be the centerpiece for this room, I've just went with curtains that look more neutral. The ones you see right now are not the ones I end up going with either, I think. To be honest, I don't remember which ones I've placed down at the end. But you'll see in the screenshots at the end of the video, I guess. I've also placed down this little side table in the corner and placed down some decoration on there as well, with pumpkins and flowers and candles. And then I moved to the living room area where I've placed down some counters on the floor. So those are actually kitchen counters, and I've put some shelves on either side of them, and that way I've just made my own kind of TV environment, placed the TV in the middle, and started to clutter up this furniture as well with flowers, leaves, pumpkins, candles. You know the drill by now. I've ended up changing the color of the couch as well. At the beginning, I had it in this kind of beige, like the ones in the conservatory, but I switched it to dark brown at the end. I thought it just looked nicer and gave the room a slightly warmer touch as well. And I was kind of insecure about the counters for a while. I thought they looked too rustic or old. I thought I should try and go with more modern counters, and I've tried that out, but I just went back to those because I think they fit quite well with the general style that I was going for this house, and it really fit when it came to the color scheme as well. So yeah, I kept these till the end, and I've placed down this rug. I really love this one. I use it a lot. It just looks like it feels so good and cozy under your feet. And just imagine sitting on that couch, watching TV, and having your bare feet on this carpet and just, yeah, relaxing. So I've edited out the bathroom downstairs. You see it briefly sometimes at this point of the video because I'm copying some items to put on in the upstairs bathroom. But it's nothing special, just some counters and a shower and a toilet. And upstairs, I've also added a bathroom with a bathtub this time. I'm trying to clutter up the bathroom counter so that it looks lived in, like there's an actual family living in this house. And I've tried to continue the color scheme this way as well. And the main attraction, so to say, of this bathroom to me was the bathtub. I just wanted to create this cozy corner with the bathtub, so I've added this side table and I've put some candles on there, some flowers and some leaves to make it very autumnal. And I just imagined the Sims to take a nice, long, relaxing bath in here, light candles, maybe they are scented candles, and just dim down the lights in the room in general, have the candlelight, and just relax and read a good book in the bathtub. And then I move on to the bedroom. So the family I imagined for this build is actually a couple, so the parents, husband and wife, with 2 kids, a teenage daughter and a boy. So right now I'm doing the bedroom, the parents' bedroom. And what I added here as well was also the kitchen counter in the corner. I couldn't find furniture that I thought fit well with what I was trying to go for. And I really enjoy placing down the kitchen counters as a shelf or a surface in the bedroom area. And I'm placing down lots of things from the, I don't know what it's called, the pack where you can learn knitting. Because I imagined the wife, the mother of the family, to be really into knitting and have this little cozy corner in her bedroom where she can sit down in the armchair and just have a lovely me time and just have a quiet time knitting things and enjoying this kind of activity, especially during the autumn season. And the father of the family I imagined to be a good cook and spend a lot of time in their kitchen And during the season, he would use pumpkins that he grew with his wife together in their garden. So that was kind of the backstory that I was going for. And the teenage daughter, I imagined her to be an avid reader. So I've placed down a few bookshelves in her room. And I really like this corner that I've built there in her room where she has the desk with her computer just right under the bookshelves in that little niche in her room. And here as well, I've placed down candle lights and books and all kinds of stuff that make the room lived in. I also added this box with the material that you need to do stitching work. I thought that the daughter might sometimes join her mother, maybe in the conservatory downstairs, and they would sit together on the couch and in the armchair, and the mother would knit something and the daughter would do some stitch work. I thought that would be a really nice image. So for this room, I had some trouble placing or choosing a bed because I don't know about you, but I'm always kind of frustrated with the beds that we've got in The Sims 4. They are quite lovely, don't get me wrong, but it's just, for me, I always find one where I really like the bed frame, but there's no covers that fit the style that I'm always going for in my head, that don't fit the color that I was looking for, so I have to choose another bed. And then I find a bed with covers that fit exactly the thing I was going for, but then the frame. I don't like the frame, so I don't know, it's just always a really long process for me to choose the right bed for a room. Then I moved on to the boys' room. And here I also added a bookshelf, but you can't reach it because I've put this little armchair in front of it. But if the boy wants to read a book, he can lend some from his sister. So those bookshelves are functional. And what I wanted to do for the boys' room was add this pumpkin carving table that your Sims children can do as an activity. But it was too big for this room because the boys' room turned out quite small, and the furniture as such, it didn't really fit the room either, so I just abandoned that idea. But to make up for it, I've added this lovely tree with the red leaves. On the wall, I've added pumpkin decoration as well, and just tried to clutter it up a little bit more with toys and a pillowcase and a very, very comfortable rug. I've imagined the siblings of this family to be quite close to each other as well, so I kind of try to show this by decorating the rooms in a kind of similar way with the trunks next to the bed. Yeah, and then I finish up more or less with decorating the hallway areas. So where I added this furniture that looks like some kind of trunk as well, and I've put pumpkins, leaves, and candles, the whole shebang on there as well. And in the other hallway that leads to the children's bedrooms, I've also added a small table and a laundry basket, because I thought that would feel quite practical, that there's the laundry basket in the hallway where the kids could put their clothes in. And then that's it for the house. Yeah, so the last things I do are on the outside of the build, which you see me do in a little bit. So I'm just finishing up a few things on the outside. For instance, I'm adding some terrain paint around the pumpkin patches so that it looks dirtier and not as clean, so that it looks as if there's people actually working in those patches. I add some pots and some soil bags, and I also end up replacing the bench that I've originally placed down beneath the tree in the garden. I've replaced it with a swing a swing because I thought that would give the child of the family something to do on the outside of the build as well. And I've tried a bit to place the sitting bench on another spot of the build, but it didn't feel or look right to me, so I deleted it. And then you see me just adding some terrain paint next to the pathway that leads up to the house and the conservatory. And the last thing I do is placing down some grass patches around the lot so that it feels not as clean and a bit more natural. So I hoped you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and maybe subscribe. And I hope to see you in my next Build video. Bye!